Hey everyone, Pugs here with just one new review for y'all, as we've got ourselves yet another special in Ghoul Fools, a Halloween themed special that's just a few weeks too early. But hey, I love Halloween, so in a way it can never be too early. Except for the fact that summer is my favorite season, so when everyone starts obsessing over Halloween, I'm forced to acknowledge that the warm days are over and I'm about to freeze my ass off for the next however many months. I really do hate being cold with my entire being. But that's not the point, because what I should be focusing on is this episode right here. So why don't I just move on to the part where I say thank you to everyone watching today. I appreciate y'all tuning into the ghoulish little review that we've got going today. And now, let's just get right into it. Ghoul Fools is yet another staple on my Halloween marathon, so that's probably one of the reasons that I like it, since I've seen it so much and it has that Halloween flair. I like when episodes are eerie, though this one is 99% played for comedy, except for maybe one aspect of it, but I'll get to that later. One of the last times I watched this episode, I watched it with my old roommates, which was fun. It's always more fun to watch things with other people because I think you just enjoy yourself more and laugh more. I was definitely having a good time. Moving right into the episode now, the beginning of it is nice and peaceful, with SpongeBob and Patrick gazing at the sky, not to mention that there's a pretty funny joke snuck in there with Patrick saying, "It calms my inner demons." The cloud watching here reminds me of Pressure, which is always a nice association for an episode to have. Though, of course, this episode does the thing where Patrick doesn't know who other main characters are, which, as per usual, annoys me. It annoys me extremely when it's done with Sandy, and it still annoys me, to a lesser degree, when it's done with Mr. Krabs here. Can we please stop doing this? Like, it's just not funny to me, and so I don't think it's ever really gonna work for me the way it's meant to. One thing I really like in this episode are all of the production touches. First, we've got the designs of both the flying houseboat and of the ghosts inside of it. Like, both of these look really cool. I just really like how the houseboat almost looks like a steamer, and then I love how the flying houseboat brought night along with it when it floated across the sky. That looked really, really cool to me. Reminds me of the shot from SpongeBob's Last Stand. And then there are other production things that I enjoy, like the title card music or the song that appears later in the episode. And as always, the voice acting is stellar here. So really, I just like this episode from a visual and audio standpoint, which is good because those can be some of the most foundational aspects of television in general. Anyway, back to the episode's content. SpongeBob and Patrick go inside the houseboat upon Patrick's insistence because he has no common sense. And the two of them think that it's a haunted house, which I guess it is, but only in the most literal sense. This episode feels like a great precursor to Legend of Bikini Bottom now that I'm thinking about it. I love how poor SpongeBob is terrorized at every opportunity, it's hilarious. The snake part has got to be the best, or maybe when SpongeBob gets taken into the closet, that had me rolling on the floor. We then meet Lord Poltergeist, who's a fun one-off character. I like him a lot. Even though the Flying Dutchman will always have my heart as our premier ghost character, it was nice to see another ghost for once too, and one with a design that isn't just the same neon green as the Dutchman. Not to mention that we still see my fave ghost man later in the episode anyway, so this is a win-win. Patrick's complete obliviousness throughout this entire scene is fun as well, and it reminds me of Shanghai, where it similarly ended up being a good source of comedy. We then get the really fun song of the episode, Ghouls of the Briny Deep, which, as I've already said, is really good. It's a pleasant listen and has all kinds of fun visuals, so this is a win for me. And there's even a Gary appearance, so that's another win. This episode is just racking them up today. Also, Ghoul Fools does something pretty great that I'd like to make a note of, so I'm just gonna need for other episodes to take some notes right now. See, this episode has Patrick be a bad friend to SpongeBob. For a joke. And that's it. Amazing how that's so much better than all these episodes where he's a bad friend for the entirety of the 11 minutes, isn't it? And the joke is that the ghost even lampshades that Patrick is being a bad friend when he's like, "Nice friend you've got there." So the episode is poking fun at itself. You see how this is so much more entertaining? Can we please continue to do this and not that other shit? Pretty please? SpongeBob and Patrick then get dragged into a ghostly plot as they're forced to get a gasket for the houseboat crew so that they can get their boat working again. This part of the episode is also really funny as it uses, well, I wouldn't call it awkward humor, but it does that thing where the tension is completely undercut so that a joke can be made, if that makes sense. What I'm saying makes no sense unless you're familiar with this part of the episode, so I'll move on. SpongeBob and Patrick then proceed to act like they've got no sense, in a good way, as they run into the Krusty Krab all freaked out by the ghosts. And because they go to the Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs now becomes involved in the episode, which I'm perfectly fine with because this is a special after all. Sandy also gets involved as she's interested in ghost catching and happens to be at the restaurant. And of course, Squidward gets in on all of this action too because he has the unfortunate position of being at work and desiring a break room. And of course, this show has to get in one little commentary about greed with Mr. Krabs' line here. I just really find that this episode is on top of it when it comes to the comedy. It's just like so great. Back at the haunted houseboat, and actually, side note, saying that alliterative name makes me remember that one Nickelodeon live action show from forever ago, the Haunted Hathaways. I was growing out of that kind of content at the time, I think. I don't know. I think I watched some of the show, but not a lot. And now, for whatever reason, I'm thinking of House of Anubis. See, that was real television. Okay, let me bring it back now. That was such a tangent. I'm gonna have to put a sticker up and write all of this in the script now. Okay. Okay. Going back for real now. My bad. So, recovering from that random ass tangent. Back at the haunted houseboat, things continue to be pretty entertaining and funny. Squidward critiques the art and the furniture inside because, of course, he does, and Mr. Krabs gets stoked about money, and no wonder Mr. Krabs bathes in money because he doesn't believe in germs, we learn. It all makes sense now. Lord Poltergeist then turns a bit antagonistic, this is an understatement, once Mr. Krabs and everyone, except for SpongeBob because he's an honest lad, and Sandy because she doesn't care, try to get away with the gold. The void of everyone's greatest fears is great and pretty funny. I love how nonchalant Squidward is about it too. It works even better when you think about how he's kinda had experience with this due to the events of SB-129. However, Lord Poltergeist ain't nuttin' compared to the real antagonist of the episode, and that's my boy, the Flying Dutchman. Sandy and SpongeBob get everyone out of the void the void of despair, wait, it's not the void of despair. I literally just stole that from Shanghai. It's void of, is there a name for it? Void of everyone's fears? Oh my god, I'm literally doing another tangent. This is so bad. Sorry. So, Sandy and SpongeBob get everyone out of the void, and then SpongeBob phones the Dutchman about his stolen gold because, as I said, SpongeBob is but an honest lad, and this is hilarious. And at first, the Dutchman actually believes the lies that Lord Poltergeist spins about getting lost with the gold, but once the crew double-crosses him again, which Lord Poltergeist is like a fool for doing that, by the way, the Dutchman turns himself into a literal nuke, and nukes everyone into the void. This ending of the episode is so unexpected and yet so hilarious, and the last little scene taking place in the void is a nice little epilogue. One of those endings where you wonder, like, how exactly they go back to the status quo after the metaphorical camera's cut. If you think hard enough, I'm sure you could find some metaphor for capitalism being this meaningless void of despair in this final scene. Definitely intentional. Surely. Yeah, so I really like Ghoul Fools, if that wasn't immediately obvious. It's just an episode full of excellent Halloween fun, and it's got, like, no misses whatsoever. And after Season 8's rocky start, an episode of this caliber was certainly needed. Hell, the episode before this one was really excellent too, so having two high-quality episodes like this was just the kind of reset Season 8 needed to get itself on its feet. At least, I hope that's what these episodes are doing for the season. I guess we'll just have to keep going through this season to see. Let's just hope that the rest of the season can keep this up. But anyway, all of this is why this episode is being put in my amazing tier, where it comes in with a score of 9.5 out of 10. As always, I'll be ending this video with some closing thoughts of mine. I think my weak spot, as it were, are Halloween-themed episodes. I feel like just having that as a theme is enough for me to say it's automatically great or amazing with few exceptions, but hey, we've all got our points of bias, and this one is one of mine. Anyway, I'm just glad that I finally did a review of a special episode that wasn't short as fuck. Not that this is very long, but I feel like this is definitely better than what it has been. I don't know what's been going on, but it feels like these special episodes have had nothing for me to say about them. This one though felt like I could go through it with like a fine-tooth comb without being repetitive and trite. So hey, I'm happy. But I guess the trade-off is that I have very little to say here in these closing thoughts. Like I've basically covered everything I can think of, which means I guess I'm just gonna leave things off here. And so I'll see y'all in the next review.